believe we should be live on Twitch any second now, I believe. I hope we get some life on the Twitch sphere. We actually most certainly are. So yes, today I cover episode 6 of JoJo Part 6 Stone Ocean. Still waiting to say out loud to say every single stream because it just feels surreal to have JoJo here. But yes, we are today covering up, well, now covering episode 6. I just watched episode 5, which by all accounts was the fuck you episode of the whole entire series thus far. We lost Jotaro, which is like bra moment number 1. Essentially, because let's be real, he's an integral part of the whole entire plot, and losing him is literally like almost losing, I don't know, he's an integral part of the narrative. Losing Gandalf in Lord of the Rings. There you go. That's just, it feels exactly the same. So, yeah, it was a tough episode overall, I must say. It actually doesn't very nail the whole entire desperation pretty damn well, and also the fact that we lost him, and also the idea that they actually did in theory become a family by the end of the whole entire episode, so it just kind of hurts a lot more. Has a lot more in anime form than in manga form, to be honest. It's like, holy shit in manga, and I'm like, wow, my emotions in anime. So where will we go next is only yet to be seen. So anyways, actually see if everything's working. Everything's working fine. So let's put on to actually watch episode 6. Alright, we should be good to go. It says, let's get a show on the road. If it's actually part 3, that pun makes sense. But alas. Anyways, I start this thing in 3, 2, 1. Let's start this thing absolutely now. Would have actually put subtitles back on. Didn't have subtitles for a second. I was like, wait a minute. My Japanese is actually pretty okay, but not that good. Basically, JoJo in a nutshell, the punishment ward. She lost her dad, for fuck's sake. Give her a break. Oh. Let's go. Bruh. That was about a trifecta of bra moments, I must admit. But she do be having standability though. But yeah, I mean, the episode was really, really well done. I mean, don't get me wrong, every single episode involves like A, a character death, or B, an emotional beat. It does hit in JoJo anime form. It kind of does the scenes justice enough that I kind of honestly say that it actually is working really well. Like, I mean, as I said during the stream, it started with Shigechi's entire demise in part 4. That was a really emotionally impactful scene. Part 5, the whole Abakio death scene, as well as Nantchia's, as well as also Bruno's as well. All those scenes hit because anime knows how to do them justice. And the same thing applies with this one. Even though, yeah, there was this idea of very distant family relationship between Jolene and Jotaro, by the end of the episode, you could tell they were family. They actually become father and daughter. Jotaro actually seeing the Joestar bloodline in her, and also Jolene actually almost coming to grips with what really didn't thoroughly transpire. But then it just stripped away from them completely by a very, 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 very bad dude. And it does hurt because at that moment you could tell they were family, so it hurts a lot. And it actually is a testament to the whole entire part for actually doing it 5 episodes into the whole entire narrative. Because 9 out of 10 times it always happens at least maybe midway through or a little bit through the actual entire narrative. But this emotional beat happened immediately, and it fucking hurt because, again, Jotaro is such an integral part to what JoJo actually is. He's like the most well-known protagonist, so offing him completely does in theory fucking hurt. God damn, my hair's in my eyes constantly now. I swear Hermes is actual stands based off the actual band. I always kind of forget that part. So Hermes is actual stands based off the band. That stand arrow's got a very good ability for stabbing people. The more I think about it. Every single fucking time so far. Also interesting to know how the stand arrow has actually progressed since part 4 as well. Also part 3 as well, to be honest. So why do I have constant sticky notes on my hand? They did a very similar thing with Joseph in part 3 as well at the end. Had to actually tell if Joseph actually was Joseph and not Dio or possessed. It is kind of really well done. Like, I like these little nuances with characters as well. It's kind of cute in a way. Like Ermes actually knowing certain things actually helps her remember that her brain's actually working. That's like free real estate right there. As you put to a house. Is a house an object? You technically could in theory trap someone inside a box of doors. I always will think that Ermes actually is best girl as well. She's so cool. Yo, it's the discs. Why have people got discs in them? We're in the century of streaming, bro. Like, where's my vinyls at? Yo, if White's taking after me, all he'll find is vinyls, not discs. Like, what the fuck is this? Also, they haven't enhanced Hermes' actual thighs, like, good lord. Like, man. I also kind of like that it actually does in theory like just involve Ermes and not anyone else. It kind of is kind of cool because it kind of retains like the mysterious aspects of JoJo as well. But you can't put this into a disk drive. It'll fucking destroy it. I kept McQueen's name though. To my knowledge, I actually haven't changed McQueen's name. Is he gonna be called Lightning McQueen though? Like Ka-chow. It's also kind of cool. This episode actually doesn't really deal with the whole entire idea of like what discs actually do as well. Even though you kind of saw it with Jotaro, but at the same time. It's kind of a nice way to actually explore what discs actually are. Yeah, this episode's kind of strange. I think they change the standing as Highway to Hell, if I remember correctly, so it's Freeway to Hell, which makes also sense. But his name, I swear, is still Thunder McQueen, if I remember correctly. It's not Lightning McQueen. That would be hilarious. If only. I swear his name is Lightning McQueen. JoJo Part 6 is one of those parts that does actually have a lot of body horror in it. It's very much more of a Cronenberg film, to be honest. That's kind of very clever, to be honest. It's very clever. But yeah, I mean, this episode's actually really fucking good. I mean, it diverges a lot from like the tone of it per episode that had Jolene just gotta lose a father. But at the same time, what it does in theory then make up for is the idea that it looks at the idea of what discs do. And also then actually gives a light to Ermes' character, who's actually just kind of been there. It's got very interesting stand ability as well, to be honest. Every single misfortune he brings into himself, he brings into others as well that are around him. But that actually kind of function though, because your lungs are still filled with water. Though you can still breathe, your lungs are still filled with water, so you still would theoretically drown, I think. If I get science correct. That would probably make it even worse at Ermes, to be honest. That's not a good idea. Let's all be real. This is Jojo. You actually can't. Oh! There's Emporio. There we go. She got a Stambra. No, we already know that, but still. Everyone that's in Jojo actually can't stay away from stand user though. Stand users attract stand users, that's the thing. That's kind of the meme. Pell Snake. Oh, I can't get past that. It's so good. That means we actually might just get my favorite localized name. I also like how they called Highway to Hell Freeway to Hell as well. It's just kind of like the same thing, just a slightly different name. Hermes is like, I can get away from him. It's like, just no, it's impossible. If you had lost that much blood, you'd be dead, I think. By all accounts. I think by all accounts, you'd be passed out or dead. Or very, very severely on the verge of, like, collapsing. Not very much, but we have some. It's kind of interesting Emporio's actual involvement to the whole entire plot as well. The idea that Emporio can't go too far. He's stationed somewhere. It kind of like I don't know, he's like that kind of I can't remember the character's exact like name, but they're very interesting because they can't go too far, so their involvement's not like they can actually fix everything essentially. They can only do so much. Holy shit. Holy shit. Wow. That's like, holy moly. That's just the worst luck in the world. I love Hermes so much. Oh shit. Yeah, what happens if she actually was being like really nice though, bro? It's like seriously like the world's like biggest divergence when it comes to tone for a part of JoJo beforehand, I believe. I remember. Like beforehand it's like, oh yeah, someone's died, it's just like, yeah, by the way, here's some kind of quirky antics. But then you have like Jotaro just fucking losing it, and then you have goes to this whole entire episode. It's just like, whoa, we sure have changed tones completely. They're both looking at the idea of death, I guess, as well. Though, so that could, in theory, be a quite interesting dichotomy. It's kind of oof, isn't it? It's kind of oof. Well, she got the disc. The disc just goes straight out the head. Oh, that's cool. Smack. I get it. I get it. I get it. Get used to the idea of the word smack as kiss. I think because someone you can use like the term smack as a kind of like say as a kiss as well, if I remember correctly, something like that. But yeah, I mean, great episode overall, I must admit. Again, it's one of those episodes that does in theory like it's a change in tone when it comes to like how previous episode looked at the idea of Jolene and Jotaro versus this episode kind of being like just about Ermes and this very, very, very interesting dude who literally just wants to die the entire time. Actually, how that then actually kind of extends to Ermes, which actually is quite interesting because beforehand, 9 out of 10 times, the actual pain inflicted upon a stand user goes back to the stand. This one also works in tandem with the idea it goes to the other stand user as well. I thought it was actually quite an interesting use of that whole entire thing as well, that I believe is right, I'm saying. And yeah, I mean, other than that, as an episode, it actually is quite interesting because it does give us everything we need to know about the discs themselves in a very interesting manner. It's kind of like the main cool thing about it is the idea that we learn pretty much everything about the discs within this episode that needs to be that we need to know to go forward with. Because without it, we'd be kind of like, okay, so we don't know the discs can actually take the disc actually holds Jotaro and also holds Star Platinum. It's all we actually know. We don't know exactly what it does in theory hold. Now we understand that it holds a lot more than just that. It holds a stand in the soul as well, or the memories as well. So it's one of those things that is quite an interesting way to look at the whole entire thing with the discs. It's a novel way, and I like what it did. It's one of those ones that is, by all accounts, very much an episode that just needs to tell us a lot about the discs, but it doesn't actually kind of feel like it's info dump. It feels very much like it's actually, you know, a very, 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 very cool exploration of the discs themselves, which is very crucial to understanding of the whole entire part itself, because discs are very important. That's why they always appear in the opening. So why would the opening always have discs so much? We they weren't so important, but now we understand they are very important. But yeah, I mean, other than that, Ermes actually proved to us that she's a great character. She actually carried the whole entire episode on her own. That was the major thing as well, is the idea that Ermes really was the star of the whole entire episode. So by all accounts, that she actually is, she actually can in theory carry a narrative on her own, because it's actually proved that she's great. She's a great character. I love her to bits. That's why I always call her the best girl, because she actually is, by all accounts, a really good character on her own. And it goes to show you that these characters actually can in theory carry a narrative on their own. There's always one of those fears that you always kind of feel like, are the secondary characters in JoJo able to carry an episode, say if one of the protagonists actually weren't there? And by all accounts, thus far, every single character actually has proved to us in previous parts they can do it. So this one actually was proof of it. It reminds me a lot of the Nunchaku arc in part 5. And there's some in part 4 as well, but part 5 primarily, well, there's also the Kishibe Rohan arc in part 4 as well. There's also that one with Cheap Trick, if I remember correctly. That was also a major one that was just about Kishibe Rohan instead. And this one, and part 5 actually had also the Nunchaku arc. So it actually had the Ermes arc in a way. So yeah, it goes to show me that Araki actually has in theory improved the writing style of the characters, because they can carry narratives on their own. So I can't wait to see what else they do in theory do with these characters, and actually are bringing these characters to life so fucking well as well. And that's the other thing to note, is the characters actually are brought to life so amazingly that you kind of feel like they're real people in a way, and not just kind of archetypes of a shonen era, rather than actually just living, breathing people. And I kind of like that about them as well. So yeah, that is all done for today. I probably will do episodes, hopefully 7 and 8 later on. So with all that said, I hope you actually have enjoyed the stream. If you have, then as always, do leave a like. It does help quite a bit. If you have then enjoyed the entire stream as a whole, then as always, do leave a sub as well, because it does help quite a bit. Also, if you have then enjoyed the whole entire stream as a whole, then as always, do leave a follow on Twitter as well. It does help quite a bit. You will then know when these streams are live, and any other streams I may do as well. So until next episode 7 of JoJo Part 6 Stone Ocean, I'll see you guys then. Bye for now.